Welcome to RAS classes. Today we'll discuss the different components of a user-defined function. Before going to the components, let us see one program. Write a program to find sum of two numbers. Okay, write a program to find sum of two numbers using function. Just see hash include stdio.h, then integer sum integer, then integer main, then integer a, b, c, then printf enter two numbers, then scanf %d %a, %b, then c equal to sum a, b, then printf sum equal to %d, c, then return 0. This is the end of this main. Then define this function integer sum integer a, integer b, then return a plus b, then this is the end of this sum function. Just see this small example or program. Now you know I have already discussed in previous video. This is the function declaration or prototype. This is, we have called here, this is function calling part, and this is function definition part. Or called part. Clear? This is definition part or called part. We have discussed in previous videos. Now see, what are the components of a function? Components of a function. Just see, in this definition part, you can see this int, what I have written, this is int, then sum, int a, int b. Clear? This int is what? Return type. Clear? This int is the return type. It is returning one integer value. Then sum. What is sum? This sum is function name. Clear? And these A and B are the arguments. or parameters. Arguments or parameters. So, and this is the body of the function body. Clear? So a function has following components. First one is what? Return type. Second one is what? Function name. Third one is arguments or parameters. Fourth one is body of the function. So these are the components of a function. Clear? Then come to this return type. What is return type? A function is returning which type of value? That is called return type. Function returns to which place? From where it is called. A function returns a value from where it is called. That means in this example you can see I have called this sum function C equal to sum. I have passed the parameters A and B. Okay. I have called from here. So it will directly go from here to here. From calling part to the definition part or call part. Then it will execute all the statements under this block. This is the call part or definition part of the function. Clear? Now see, return type, that means this definition part, after completion of all statements, after execution of all statements under this block or this definition part, it will return some value, or if it is not returning anything, if return type is bold, it will not return, only cursor will be written. To which place? From where it is called. So if it is returning some value, it will return that value to the place from where it is called. That means it will return some value from where it is called. Understood? Clear? Now see. This is the return type. This return type uses one keyword. This return is a keyword. This is a keyword. This return is a keyword. So using this return keyword, a function returns something. According to that, which type of value it is returning, we have to give the data type, this return type. It may return any primitive data type like your integer, character, float. It may return one user-defined data type like structure, union. Clear? So, if it is returning something, then we have to give one the data type according to that value. Clear? If we are not giving any value or a return type, by default, it takes the return type as integer. If we are not giving any return type, then by default the compiler takes the return type as integer. If other than integer we are returning, suppose we are returning one character variable or any float variable, then we have to give what? The return type as character or float according to that. Which type of value we are returning from the function definition part, we will have to give the return type according to that data type. Clear? If we are not mentioning any return type, by default compiler will take the return type as integer. It will consider that it is returning, the function is returning one integer value. Clear? If this is the return type. If we are not returning anything, if we are not returning this return type, this return type may be a primitive data type or any user defined data type. Clear? If we are not returning any value, then return type will be what? Void. The return type will be void. Void means it is not returning any value. Only cursor will be returned from where it is called. Only cursor will be returned to the place from where it is called. Always a function returns something. If not return something, then at least cursor will be returned from where it is called. When it will return? When this return keyword will execute. If it is not returning anything, if return type is void, then only we have to write this keyword like this. Return semicolon. That means it is not returning anything. If it returning any integer value, then we have to write what? Return that integer variable. Suppose here a plus b, that means the result of a plus b. Suppose a is 5, b is 10, it will return 15. So return type is integer because we are returning integer value. A, b are integer type. Clear? Same way, if I will take a, b as float, then I am returning a plus b. That means a float value I am returning. So return type will be float according to that. Which type of value I am returning, I have to give the return type according to that. If not returning anything, that means I have to write what? The return type is void. If I am not writing any return type, by default it is considered as the return type is integer. Clear? Now see, and it returns something by using the keyword return, R-E-T-U-R-N. This is a keyword. This return is a keyword. This return is a keyword. Clear? So, now see, come to function name. I have told this is a function name. This is my user defined function. I will go types of function, then I will discuss the user defined function, predefined function, system defined function. I will discuss. Now see, this is the function name. Sum. Function name. What is function name? It's an identifier. What is that? Identifier. What is identifier? Which identifies something. So this function name identifies. This function name identified what? The name of the function. The name of the function. Clear? This function identified from its name. This sum, S-U-M, sum. So it's a identifier, any name. So it will follow the rules of identifier. That means its first letters should be what? One character, alphabet. Identifier, rules of identifier. Naming identifier, its first letter will be what? One alphabet or any underscore you may take. Clear? So it will follow the rules of identifier for naming the function. Clear? So it's an identifier. This function name is a constant pointer. You just remember, constant pointer. It's a constant pointer. We discuss what is constant pointer in pointer chapter. So it's a constant pointer. That means it gives the address location to the pointer, to this pointer, when we call this function, call the function call the function through pointer. Clear? So when we are calling one function through pointer, at that time it gives this function name, gives the address location to the pointer. We'll discuss this constant pointer and if calling a function through pointer in pointer chapter. Clear? You just remember it for now. Clear? It's a constant pointer. It's it's a identifier. It follows the rules of identifier. So it's a name. Identifier means name. Now come to arguments or parameters. Arguments or parameters. Arguments or parameters. Arguments or parameters. Clear? Now see, I have told A and B are the arguments or parameters in a function. What is argument? It is nothing but the values passed to a function. The values passed to a function on which a function performs certain operation or specific operations. Here in some function we are passing A and B. So A and B are the arguments or parameters, and according to this AB, it is what? Performing some operations inside that function. Clear? So parameters or arguments is nothing but the values passed to a function on which a function performs some operations. Clear? So here we know this is the calling part and this is the definition part or call part. So here you can see there are some arguments. Here also some arguments are there. So arguments generally two types. You can see in many books it is two types. One is the argument present in calling part. Is called actual argument. Clear? And the arguments present in what? Definition part is called formal argument. Actual arguments and formal arguments. Clear? What is actual argument? The argument present, or arguments or parameters present in what? Calling part. The arguments present in calling part is called actual argument or actual parameter. Arguments or parameters, you can see, tell it as. What is formal argument? The arguments present in called part or definition part. Called part or definition part. The arguments present in called part or definition part are called formal arguments. The arguments present in calling part are called what? Actual. Clear? Here, this A and B are the actual argument because this is the calling part arguments. These are the actual argument. These arguments are called actual argument or parameters, and these A and B are called, these arguments are called formal argument. Formal arguments. Clear? Now see, some part is, this part is called what? Declaration or prototype part. Here you can mention the argument name or you may mention or you may not mention. You may give the argument. You may write here A, B. You may write the argument name or may not. But the argument type or parameter type, the data type is compulsory, mandatory. If you are passing some arguments, then in declaration part, you have to give what? The argument type or parameter type. That is compulsory. But you may write the parameter name or argument name or not. Clear? This is you may or may not. So these are called dummy arguments. These are called dummy arguments. Clear? So, clear? Dummy arguments. The arguments present in what? Declaration part or prototype part. Clear? So generally you will see the argument two types, but each the argument present in this declaration part is called dummy argument because you may keep that argument or parameter or you may not. But that parameter type is compulsory or mandatory there. Clear? I have already told that in declaration part semicolon is mandatory. In calling part semicolon is mandatory. But in definition part there is no semicolon. Why? I have explained in previous videos. Here we can see the parameter name or argument name. Here it is not mandatory. It's a dummy type. Here you may give or may not give. But the parameter type or argument type is compulsory. Here it is return type, function name and parameter type. It is compulsory. Clear? In calling part you can see there is no return type. There is no parameter type. We are passing only the parameters. The values or variables we are passing. Clear? We are writing only the variables or parameters. Arguments. There is no argument type or parameter type. But here you can see there is parameter type also there. You may give or parameter name or may not. But parameter type is or argument type is mandatory. Here you can see return type, same as your declaration return type is there. Function name is there and this is argument type or parameter type is there with parameter names or argument names. These arguments are called, the definition part argument are called formal argument. The calling part argument are called actual argument. Clear? This is all about the argument or parameters. Clear? Now, see, when we are calling some function, we are passing some argument. Clear? This argument, what A and B, these are the local variable. We will discuss what is local variable, what is global variable in next video. This is local variable to this main function. So memory will be allocated for this AB for the main function. And this AB is different from this AB because this AB is local to this definition part or this block. Scope is within this block. So this AB is different from this AB. Here you can take what? X and Y, P and Q, anything else. This AB name may be different from this name. You may give the same name in definition part and calling part, or you may not give the same name because this AB is different from this AB. Clear? The memory allocation for this AB different and this AB is different. Clear? This AB local to this block and this AB local to this block. Clear? Now come to body of function. Body of function. Here you will get or write the actual logic for that function. The actual logic part is present inside this function definition part, for which you are calling that function. Suppose I am taking the sum function. It will find what? Sum of two numbers or three numbers or multiple numbers. Clear? So the actual logic part will be inside this block or this body of the function. Clear? So the actual logic part present inside the body part of the function. Clear? So actual logic part present what? Inside the block. That is body of the function. Clear? Here you can see this is the body of function. Starting from this to this, ending with this curly bracket. Clear? Ending with this curly braces. Clear? So these are the components of a function. Now see, next we'll discuss the types of function. Types of a function. Types of function. Function is generally of two types. One is predefined or system defined. And another one is user defined. One is predefined, another one is user defined. Clear? What is predefined or system defined function? And what is user defined function? We'll see. If the functionality of a function defined by the user, then it is called user defined function. And if the functionality is defined by the system, then it is called what? System defined or you can say predefined function. Clear? If the functionality, what is most important? Functionality means what? What that function will do. Functionality means, functionality of a function means what that function exactly do. That is called its functionality. Suppose we are taking some function, it is adding something, it is calculating sum of something, 2 numbers or 3 numbers. If we are taking the multiplication function, it will find the multiplication of 2 numbers or 3 numbers. Clear? If we are taking one factorial function, it will find the factorial of a number. Clear? So like this, what that function exactly does, that is called its functionality. If that functionality is defined by the user, then it is called user-defined function. If the functionality of a function is defined by the system or it is predefined, then it is called predefined or system-defined function. What is the example of this user-defined function? User-defined function. Here I have taken some function. Here I am writing the functionality of this sum function. What that sum function will do, whether it will add 2 numbers or whether it will add 3 numbers, whether it will add multiple numbers. I am just writing its functionality. I am the user writing the functionality of this sum function. So this sum is a user-defined function, because the user is defining its functionality, whether it will add or subtract or multiply. Clear? So sum, here sum, you can, in this example, sum is a predefined function. You may take add, you may take multiplication, for multiplication mul. This is an identifier, you may give any name. Clear? These are the user-defined names. These are the identifiers. Clear? You may give any name. Mul1, add1, sum1, like this. Addition, multiplication. You may take any name. Your name also. No problem. Clear? But it is better practice which type of function name you are taking, according to that its functionality should be defined like that. So these are the user-defined names and its functionality also user-defined. So if the functionality of a function defined by the user, then it is called user-defined function. Clear? Now come to predefined function or system-defined function. If the functionality of a function defined by the system, this is called predefined or system-defined. System-defined. What is the example? Here I have taken printf, scanf. Whether I am writing the functionality of printf or scanf? No. Only I am using that function. I have passed some argument to that function. I am not defining any printf function and scanf function like your sum function. I am not defined. I am just using that function, printf or scanf. Clear? So it is already defined. What that function? Whether printf will input something? No, never. Scanf function will print something? No. Clear? So printf function always print something. Scanf function will input something. So what that print function will do, what that scanf function will do, already it is predefined. When some compiler is designed, at that time some functions are written to do the specific works. Like printf is written to print something. Scanf function is written to input something. Clear? So these functions already predefined at the time of designing the compilers. Clear? or it is system defined. We are using those functions. We are not defining that functionality of that function. Clear? We are just what? Using, and we are passing some arguments and it is doing some works. Clear? So predefined functions are printf, scanf, getch. These are functions. Then many functions are there. cl, r, scr, like this. Some string functions, str, len, to find the string length, str, cat, etc. These are some predefined functions. Power function you may take POW. Square root function you may take SQRT to find the square root of a number. Okay? So some functions already defined at the time of designing compiler, those functionality already defined there. We are using those functions. As it is predefined and defined by the system, it is called system defined or predefined functions. If we are using those functions, then we must have to include the header file for that. If we are using the system defined or predefined functions, then we must have to include the respective what? Header file in our program. Clear? Suppose here I am using the predefined function like printf and scanf. It is defined inside which header file? stdio.h. So before using this, I have to include this header file. Suppose you are using power function and a sqrt function. Then I have to use math.h. I have to include this header file to use power function and sqrt function. So before using those predefined or system defined function, we must have to include the respective header file in our program. But in user defined function, we need not have to include any header file, because the functionality of this type of functions we are what? Defining. We are defining this functionality of user defined function. It is not predefined. It is not system defined. Clear? So these are the what? User defined function, and these are the predefined function. So two types of function. One is predefined system defined, and another one is user defined. All of you clear? Very simple. Now see. In this example, you can see I have called this sum function from main function. This is starting of main, this is the ending of main. I have called the sum function, this is the calling part, from main function. Clear? And this is the definition part or called part of this sum function. Clear? So the main function is called calling function. So it is two types. One is calling function, another one is called function. Clear? What is calling function? The function which calls another function. This main function called what? This sum function. So main is the calling function for this sum function, and sum is the called function. The function which is called called function. The function which call one function, that is called calling function. Main function is calling sum function. So for sum, main is the calling function and sum is the called function. Because main is calling sum, so main is the calling function, and sum is called by the main, so sum is the called function. In this example, called function is sum and main is the calling function. Main function is the what? Calling function for this sum function. Just remember this concept. Clear? So today we'll stop here, and in next video we'll discuss some more about the function. Thank you.